And now, here is your forecast first.
Seeing much nicer weather today than we were seeing from yesterday to end off the weekend here. Much warmer temperatures in the Quad Cities in the mid to upper 60s across the board here. A few 70s off towards the west in Iowa City over at 71. Right now it's 67 here in the Quad Cities on this Sunday afternoon. Your satellite and radar got a mix of some clouds and sunshine outside for today. So nice little healthy mix of that. On your forecast first, still going to be seeing fairly cloudy throughout the rest of the evening, especially towards tonight. Going to be seeing a lot of clouds. Might see a slight chance of some rain for tomorrow morning to start your week, but much nicer weather after that. All coming up on our Quad Cities News at 5:30.
Live from the heart of the Quad Cities, you're watching our Quad Cities News at 5:30 on Local 4.
Happy Sunday evening. Hope you're enjoying your weekend and going towards the end of it now. On your Local 4 News here at 5:30. Well, in one of his most wide-ranging interviews since taking office, President Trump said he was uncertain as to whether people living in the U.S. deserve due process. He did not rule out the possibility of military action in Greenland. Christian Benavidez has our top story this evening.
In an interview on NBC's Meet the Press, President Trump said he did not know if it was his job to uphold the Constitution and wavered when asked whether every person on American soil was entitled to due process. The answers came in response to questions about the administration's handling of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador in what Justice Department officials called a clerical error.
Your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says.
I don't know. It seems it might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth. But some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get them the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said.
For the first time, Trump ruled out the possibility of running for a third term, and he discussed possible military action in Greenland.
You are not ruling out military force to take Greenland.
I don't rule it out. I don't say I'm going to do it, but I don't rule out anything. No, not there. We need that. We need Greenland very badly.
The interview comes on the heels of continued backlash over an AI photo he posted on X showing himself dressed as the Pope.
That was Christian Benavidez reporting. 15% of the workforce at the Department of Agriculture accepted buyouts from the Trump administration. A USDA spokesperson says leadership is working to shake up the department to be, quote, more effective and efficient, serving the American people. They'll prioritize farmers, ranchers, and producers. USDA has about 100,000 employees nationwide. The Trump administration tried firing another 6,000 probationary workers earlier this year, but a federal board ordered them to be reinstated. Car prices could be going up as another round of auto tariffs took effect this weekend. This latest round by President Trump puts a 25% tax on imported auto parts. The first auto tariff started last month, did not affect U.S.-made cars, but this tax will impact domestic production. According to government figures, more than 50% of parts assembled in U.S. auto plants are imported. Both GM and Ford say they don't expect prices to go up immediately, but auto repair shops will likely have to charge more. Catholic cardinals are ending their period of mourning for Pope Francis. Earlier today, they participated in their final day of morning masses in St. Peter's Basilica, with a French cardinal presiding. 9 days of mourning are required before cardinals can start the conclave to elect the next pope. That starts Wednesday. 133 cardinal electors will participate. That's the largest number ever. They come from 71 countries. The summer travel season is here, and TSA wants to make sure you have your real ID so you can get through airport security as you catch your next flight. But if you don't get one, there are other IDs you can use, like your passport. But the deadline to get a real ID to fly anywhere in the U.S. is Wednesday. Our very own Evan Denton spoke with some people at the Quad Cities International Airport on what you need to know.
We've been trying really hard to work together between airports and airlines and TSA to make sure the message gets out.
Changes are coming to TSA security checkpoints.
On May 7th, 2025, every air traveler 18 years and older must have a real ID or an alternative ID to travel.
It comes 2 decades after Congress passed the Real ID Act in 2005 to enhance security at federal facilities, military installations, and air travel.
Identity verification is critical for our mission, and TSA continues to make significant investments in this area to include our credential authentication technology.
Real ID compliant IDs have a star in the upper right-hand corner. The Quad Cities International Airport is doing its part to make sure travelers are aware of the new ID changes.
We've started adding signage around the airport, so at all of the airline check-in counters and our baggage claim area, we have a big countdown so that people remember that this day is coming.
According to Jose Flores, 70% of Iowans have real ID. For Illinoisans, that number drops to 35%.
Passengers without a real ID after the date can expect to face delays, additional screening, and the possibility of not being permitted into the security checkpoint.
Traveler Megan Johnson has real ID compliant identification.
It puts me at ease knowing that I can just get in and out and I don't have any troubles. No one is stopping me, no one's questioning.
Airport and TSA officials advise travelers to arrive 90 minutes to 2 hours before takeoff.
I'm really confident in our local TSA officers here that they've been well prepared and well trained to try and keep the lines moving.
If you try to do the TikTok challenge, a 15-minute airport challenge, I would not recommend that, right? May not be successful.
That was Evan Denton reporting. Caitlin Fever is back in Iowa City, the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, getting ready for her second season in the WNBA. Earlier today, the Fever playing the Brazil national team in an exhibition. We'll, of course, have your highlights from the game in about 10 minutes when we get over to sports. That's always... I mean, the hype is real.
That injury was nothing for her. She's fine.
It was always in the cards.
She's already making baskets.
No, she's already killing. I mean, we will have those highlights later. You might have already seen it on social media, but I mean, it's going crazy and just about an hour away from us.
Yes, but for right now, we've got some weather to talk about. It's been a much nicer day for us today.
It's a beautiful day.
Definitely a nice jump in temperatures, right around your normal at 69 for your highs this afternoon. But we got warmer weather on the way for next week. I'll have all that coming up for you on our Quad Cities News at 5:30. Well, it has been a much nicer day today than we were seeing from yesterday, at least in terms of temperatures. Definitely warmed up quite a bit from Saturday. And as we're getting ready to end off the weekend, well, right now, seeing a bit more clouds than sunlight at the current moment here on our Mercy One Genesis camera overlooking the Interstate 74 bridge. Our camera over in Muscatine, they're seeing a bit more sunshine, however, for this Sunday afternoon. So, going to be seeing a little bit more sun there. And here from our Rock Island camera overlooking the Centennial Bridge, you can see still seeing a little bit of sunlight coming through those clouds, but not too much. Those clouds really are starting to build up a little bit and continuing to do so throughout the rest of the evening here. Have a slight chance of some rain for tomorrow on your Monday, but after that, it's going to be very nice throughout the rest of the week. Lots of sunshine and much warmer temperatures too, getting back into the mid-70s for the rest of the week there. Already seeing those 70s for today here. We've cooled down a little bit, down into the upper 60s at 67 here in the Quad Cities, but still seeing some 70s off towards some of our western areas. Muscatine at 70, Iowa City at 71, and a lot of mid to upper 60s across the rest of the board here. For your next couple of hours, going to be cooling back down towards the low 50s by around midnight tonight as those clouds continue to stick around throughout the rest of the day here. So not going to be seeing any rain, thankfully, just those clouds throughout the rest of the evening. Here's a look at your next 7 days of your temperatures compared to normal for us here. Now, the normal temperatures around this time throughout the next 7 days here, around 70 to 71 degrees or so, even 72 as we head towards the weekend. We can see that, well, tomorrow for Monday, it's going to be a little bit cooler than normal, around the mid 60s still, around 6 degrees below normal. After that, as we head towards Tuesday and throughout the rest of the week, it's going to be actually warmer than normal. Thursday and Friday going to be a little bit closer to where we are normally around this time of year, but then gets even warmer as we head towards the upcoming weekend. Here's our satellite and radar now, seeing some more clouds moving in, even some light rain just off towards the east here. Now that rain could possibly move in throughout the rest of the night and into Monday morning, so we could be seeing a chance of some rain there moving in throughout the early morning hours. But then it does clear out towards the afternoon and also clears out completely by Tuesday, getting us some real nice sunshine to continue on throughout the rest of the week. So for tonight, it's going to be mostly cloudy throughout the rest of the evening here. 47 for your overnight lows. Then for tomorrow, going to be seeing a slight chance of some rain in the early morning, but that does clear out throughout the afternoon. 64 for your afternoon high, so a little bit cooler than where we have been for today. And on your 7-day pinpoint forecast, going to be seeing those temperatures getting back up into the low to mid 70s throughout the rest of the week after that little rain chance on Monday. Lots of sunshine outside. It's going to be a good week to get outside.
Yeah.
You know, do some activities, play some sports, or just kind of go through a walk, maybe walk down some of the hiking trails that we have around here. It's going to be a good week.
This is my favorite kind of week right here. You got like just like 50s to 70s. This is just perfect. There's nothing to complain about.
For me, it is actually right there. It's like nice and sunny, mid 70s. Oh, that's Goldilocks for me right there.
This is just perfect. I mean, nothing to complain about for us here. That's perfect, yeah. Thanks, Sean. Just don't know how to end that one there. All right, thanks, Sean. We'll see you later. All right, coming up, Augustana women's water polo wrapping up the national tournament, and Caitlin Clark's return with the Iowa City with the Fever. Next, Nick Couzin, 5:30 Sports.
After missing the Fever's first preseason game against the Mystics due to knee tightness, guard Caitlin Clark wasn't about to miss a homecoming in Iowa City. Clark back at Carver Hawkeye Arena, this time as a pro and once again in front of a sold-out crowd. The opponent, the Brazilian national team.
Caitlin Clark Mania returns to Iowa City to a raucous Carver crowd. Clark said she warned her Fever teammates to expect the loudest basketball environment they've ever played in.
As a competitor, those are the moments you live for. You know, when the spotlight's on, it's the same today. Like, you know, we're on ESPN. This is a great opportunity for our team. Like, you approach this the same exact way you would approach game 1 or game 44, whatever it is. And you always have to have that mindset. So, going to come out there and try to dominate. Certainly give the fans something to cheer about. That's my goal. Get them involved, get them loud, because, you know, I told my teammates this is going to be the loudest arena you've ever played in. So I got to make a few shots to be able to get them on their feet and cheer for us on defense. I think Lexi would probably appreciate some noise to help her play some good defense.
Clark said she didn't know how many minutes she was going to play, but whatever she did on the court today, she's going to put on a show. Reporting from Iowa City, I'm Blake Hornstein for Hawkeye Headquarters.
Big ovation, of course, playing in that starting 5. Clark isn't only fitting the first points of the game, a Clark deep 3, top of the key, 3 of many points from Indiana in this one. Time winding down in the first. Clark step back, automatic, 9 first quarter points, 37-17 Fever after 1. More in the second, off the inbounds, Clark can't stop it. Again from deep, crowd loving it. Well worth the $600 paid admission. Fever up 23. Don't forget about the passing, the rebound, full court pass to Dewana Bonner, laying it in. Clark 5 assists, the lead now 40. Late third quarter, the shot everyone will remember, almost identical to the record breaker against Michigan. Just further, Clark 36 feet behind her own logo. Clark always delivers. And how about that big smile? Clark, 16 points, shooting 60% from the field, gets the big homecoming win, 108-44. Augustana women's water polo capping off its season with a thriller, defeating Washington, Jefferson, and Sudden Victory, claiming 3rd place at the U.S. Water Polo Division III National Tournament, making the 3rd straight season the Vikings have finished 3rd nationally, a remarkable feed frog program only in its 4th year. The Vikings, the only team representing the Midwest, hosted this year's championship in their home pool, driven by their biggest strengths.
Team environment, especially, we're a very supportive team in and out of the water. We support each other in all other events like theater performances, speeches, campus events. If there's a water polo player involved, the entire team is there, and that especially translates into the water because we're a very social team. We like to talk to each other in the water.
Everybody has their own individual specialties that they bring to the table for our sport. Like some people are better at defense and offense, and then some people are shooters, some people are not, and everybody just brings something to the table that we use as a team that just cohesively brings us together and creates a bond like no other.
You kind of watch water polo when it's usually in the US, like the Olympics. The USA team is very strong, and a lot of water polo players strive to be at that level. So looking into college water polo and seeing how the top teams, Div 1, Div 2, Div 3 play, it's just it's inspiring, and I want to be like that.
Shorty Imanaga on the mound for the Cubs against the Brewers. Top 6, not what you want to see. Imanaga ready to cover the bag at first on a double play. Comes up limping. Needs help getting to the dugout on that one. Not looking good there. X-rays coming tomorrow on that one. Enter Julian Merriweather from the bullpen. And Cubs fans know this all too well. Disaster is coming. Des Cameron base knock to center, and that's a 1-0, and Milwaukee leads 2-0, and then more in the inning. Caleb Durbin to the gap and right, and 2 more score. The Brewers score 4 in the 6th off Merriweather, and they win by that score. River Bandits dropped the series finale to the Great Lakes Loons 7-3. The Bandits continue their road trip Tuesday with the first of 6 in Ohio against the Lake County Captains. Still off to a great start to their season though. Hami 18-8 on the year for the Bandits.
Yeah, I was going to say all they do is win, but not quite today.
Can't win them all.
Can't win them all. I mean, again, there's no shame losing a game or two, but it's a very exciting season for the Steam Wheelers and the River Bandits.
Yes.
Looking really good out there.
Lots of wins.
That sounds good. So Nick will stay with us right after this quick break, and we'll wrap it up with meteorologist Sean Kennedy on your local news at 5:30. Before we let you go this Sunday evening, Pearl the Chihuahua meet Reginald, the Great Dane. The world's largest and smallest dog had a play date. Reginald's owner says he's a gentle giant and seemed to have a good time meeting and respecting Pearl's space despite their 3-foot height difference. He also was not very careful to step on her, very careful not to step on her. You see right there in the kitchen. Jeez, Pearl and her owners flew to Idaho from Florida for the 2-day play date. The Guinness Book of World Records hosted them early last month.
That dog is
That's legendary.
That dog's bigger than me, dude. What?
Right? Yeah. I think that's 3 people.
Look at that! Are you kidding me?
It's 3 people in a trench coat, probably, right?
Oh
yeah,
my
it's a
goodness.
huge dog.
And then just look at the
Does the owner, can the owner even walk him?
I think the dog walks the owner.
That's a good one.
I'll just let him out in the yard and go do your business there, buddy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, well, one last look at the forecast before we go for today. Going to be seeing a slight chance of some rain early tomorrow morning, but then it does look to clear out towards the afternoon. Temperatures do cool down once again back into the mid-60s. But then by Tuesday, going to be seeing a lot more sunshine and a lot more spring-like temperatures, I should say, back into the mid-70s. And even taking into the glance towards next weekend, getting back into the upper 70s, near 80, and even into the mid-80s by the start of next week, but that's a bit farther out.
We're getting the shorts on again, Sean.
There you go.
I don't want to say it. I mean, is this a perfect week? I mean, I don't want to say it. It looks perfect. I just don't want to say it. Yeah, maybe that dog can take us out for a walk later. All right, that's it for us. We're back here at Fox at 9, CBS at 10.